Hello, my name is Cynthia Sincere and I'm an astrologer and holistic coach. Today we're going to talk about Moon in Gemini. So Moon is the planet that talks about our emotions, our inner feelings, our inner world. It tells us a lot about our habits, also can tell a lot about the mother we've had, and also of our subconscious. When the Moon is in Gemini, it will describe people who have a very lively, optimistic, and very positive outlook in life. It will describe people who are usually quite versatile, a bit of a jack of all trades. They can fulfill many different roles and sometimes be a one-person team doing many different roles. They are also very restless, a little bit like social butterflies, and they make friends easy. They are adaptable, intelligent, and really good at thinking on their feet. They have an open and fast mind, and they can be very amusing, witty, very curious, exciting, charming, lively, bubbly, independent, and persuasive. On their shadow side, the Moon in Gemini people, they may not have a lot of heavy emotions to show, so this is not necessarily negative. But if you want to talk about their shadow side, they can be a little bit anxious sometimes. They can get a bit of an overreactive mind, get a bit of an overwhelming strain of thoughts and thinking, and sometimes even get a bit disorganized and a little bit all over the place, a bit scattered. This has to do with actually being the shadow of some of their superpowers, because the Gemini Moon has a superpower where their feelings and their emotions are kind of regulated by going through a logical way of looking at things. So the mind and the emotions are quite balanced. And the other superpower they have is that they actually are really good at multitasking. They require a lot of mental stimulation, so they have this kind of need of having lots of things coming, lots of information, learning lots of things. But if they overreact, if they exaggerate in doing these things, then of course some of the kind of shadow sides that can show up could be this kind of overwhelming strain of thinking and being very disorganized and scattered all over the place. Another thing about their shadow side is because they have such a fast mind, they have such a way of dealing with things so fast and observing information, while they're talking to you, they can become a little bit incoherent. So, imagine those type of people, and maybe you've met them, who go from one subject to another, to another, to another, without even kind of seeming so, and you don't know what they started talking to you, and then they're talking about something completely different, how they got from that point to another. So you can get lost in the conversation with the Gemini Moon, not knowing very well where they're sitting. Another thing that has nothing to do with their shadow side, now describing more of the Gemini Moon in general, is these people, they, and I think it's a superpower, they can actually remain jovial and young for a very long time. They will retain that kind of childlike Gemini quality about them, that it likes very much to have this kind of attitude, very kind of a attitude that is almost like a child, almost like this curious looking at the world, of wanting to discover things and wanting to know everything, but also kind of like a very, I'm trying to find the right word, like when children are a little bit cheeky, but cheeky in a good way, in a sweet way, in a very endearing way. So the Moon in Gemini can retain that kind of cheeky, positive, cheeky, childlike quality about them. Another thing is the Gemini Moon also needs a lot of communication, and they are really good at communication as well. So any professions or work that are related to communication and creativity will be perfect for them. So things like marketing, PR, like filming, editing, directing, producing, they can fulfill all of these roles on themselves even, but they will also be good at it. And also they can have a little bit of a thing for photography, for even for dramatic arts or anything that sparks their creativity in a more kind of mediatic way. And I would imagine, even though it's not my moon, but moon in Geminis can be really amazing YouTubers. So in relationships, the moon in Gemini people, they are people who will seek for someone who is very much communicative and interested in finding and discovering new ways of thinking and new information and exploring new subjects. And they will seek someone who not just knows these things, but knows them in a very deep way, in a very broad way and deep way. And if those people can have some wisdom added to it, then the Gemini moon will be really, really interested. If in relationships as well, the Gemini moon will tend to be independent, and they will not be very much the type of people who will feel the need for a lot of romantic things. They will try to, like the cheesy, more kind of mushy romance will not really do much for them. They will be looking more for someone who's very social and communicative and lively and fun. And if you can add, so if the person they like also is witty and likes to banter, that is a plus. So as I go now for talking how you can spark the interest of a Gemini moon, is basically what I just said. Become this person who is interested in lots of different subjects and lots of different things, and wants to know and is able to have a wonderful conversation with the Gemini moon. And while exploring these subjects, if you can show the wisdom and you can show that you know what you're talking about, it's even a bigger plus. And if you are witty and like to banter and you can flirt as well, that's amazing. Try not to be possessive and try to avoid overly romantic demonstrations of love and overly mushy and cheesy kind of romantic things, because the Gemini moon will not really be very much into that. They will kind of find it a little bit weird. If you are a Gemini moon and you want to be at your best, some of the things you can do is maintain that very lively childlike curiosity of things and explore all these different subjects that you want to learn about with a practical sense to it, having always a practical way of putting them in practice. And go for your dreams, go for the things that you want to achieve and you want to accomplish. People may find your superpower of being such a multitasker and capable of doing so many different things a little bit weird and strange. Other signs might find that a little bit disturbing, but it is your superpower and you should go for it. You should give it into it, because it can actually help you if you are trying to build a business or be an entrepreneur. It can actually be something that comes and aid you. Just avoid getting yourself overwhelmed and charging your nervous system, because that's your weak point. You need to be careful with it, and if you feel you're starting to be overloaded in your nervous system, try to do some meditation to calm your mind, to focus your thinking, focus your thoughts. Do some meditation and use that to be able to refocus your energy and refocus yourself. Another thing you can do is to be very social and find people around you whom you can share and talk to about all of these things, because this is something for you that will fill you up, being surrounded by good friends who you can have good communication and fun with. So that's it. That's all I had to say for today for the Moon in Gemini. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please press like below and let me know in the comments, how was this describing your Moon in Gemini, if you're one, if you're a person with a Moon in Gemini, or someone you know who has a Moon in Gemini. How does this video helped you know more about them, and how much did you find it corresponds? And now you're going to be able to use a lot of the tricks and tips in this video to help you have better relationships with the Gemini Moon. And if you also like, you can check me out at cynthiasincere.com. On my website, I'll give consultations. I have some different consultations than the Natal Chart reading as well. And I also do coaching. And if you subscribe to my emails, you will get some free gifts. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.